Hello everyone. In this video we are going to see a 1D element, a most important topic of finite element analysis. I am Professor Rakde RD from KK Wagh Engineering College, Nashik. So learning objective in this video we will describe and solve numerical on 1D element bar for better clarification. Describe our introductory part of type of elements, different type of elements, then property of stiffness matrix, method of storage of global stiffness matrix in computer memory. So initially we start from 1D numerical of bar. So we already solved such type of problem in strength of material subject, but how FEA solve this problem by their steps. So steps involved in FEA I'm already discuss in previous video. Still we summarize these steps. So general steps involved in FEM or FEA, I'm already clear what is FEM and what is FEA. Both are the same. So there are total 9 steps involved in FEA. So we will follow this step and solve this numerical. For better clarification of various terms involved in 1D elements topic, maybe related with numerical or theoretical part. So first step, that is discretization of continuum, that is region or system for study. Then formation of element stiffness matrix, formation of global stiffness matrix, formation of global load vector or matrix, formation of global nodal displacement vector or matrix, assembly of global stiffness, nodal displacement, load equation. Next, application of boundary conditions, and lastly solution of simultaneous equation, means solve that matrix, prepare equations and solve that equation and determine stress and strain. So our ultimate objective of such type of problem or structural problem to find out stress and strain by calculating displacement. So this problem, first according to first step, we convert into a district model, means we have continuous model, that continuous model converted into district model, means convert that model into elements and nodes. So from problem we defined 2 elements and 3 nodes. So each element is having 2 nodes. So this is element 1 and element 2, and element 1 having node 1, node 2, node 2 and node 3. So element 1, element 2, element 1, we start from bottom side, node 1, node 2 and node 3. Then given data available, that is area of element 1 and 2, then E, that is Young's modulus of elasticity we have given, then length of respective elements. Then condition we have, that is bottom end, that is node 1 is fixed and node 3 having axial load, that is 1000 Newton. Okay, means 1000 compressive load apply on node 3. So logically we know that node 1 having 0 displacement, node 2 and node 3 having sum of displacement. So by using FEA method we calculate displacement on node 2 and node 3. After that we can calculate strain and stresses. So this is our first step, that we discretize given model into elements and nodes. Then next step, formation of individual stiffness matrix. So for bar element, the stiffness matrix is such as K equal to. So this stiffness matrix we can derive by using a direct approach, minimum potential or weighted restoration. So we discuss in another video. So I am directly put this individual stiffness matrix formula here. So one element having two nodes, so individual stiffness matrix size equal to 2 by 2. So AE upon L minus AE upon L minus AE upon L and AE upon L. So we have already know the respective value for element 1 and element 2. So there are two elements, so we will prepare two individual stiffness matrix for element 1 and element 2 by referring this same stiffness matrix. So after putting respective value, that is AEL, so we'll get element stiffness matrix for element 1, that is 84 into 1000. So for simplicity we write only 84, or if you multiply 1000 into 84, so 84000. Well, this is only for simplicity. So keep in mind when you uh, when you sorry when you take common, so suppose you common 1000 from K1, so it is necessary to give 1000 for K2 also. So we will get individual stiffness matrix for element 1 K1 and individual stiffness matrix for K2. Then next step, that is preparation of global stiffness matrix or formation of global stiffness matrix. So the size of global stiffness matrix that depend upon degree of freedom of each node. So we have two elements, three nodes. So our global stiffness matrix size equal to 3 by 3. That depend upon degree of freedom, or you can simply consider number of element for deciding degree of size of global stiffness matrix. So here the size of global stiffness matrix, we just simply add this two global stiffness matrix, position of 1, this is 2, 3 and 4, then stiffness for element 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. So we club these two elements and form a global stiffness matrix. There is a common node for element 1 and 2, that is 2. So value of that node 2 will be sum. This is 84 and this is 210. So we'll add that, means simply if you add respective elements we will get answer. 84 plus 0, 84, minus 84 plus 0, minus 84, 0 plus 0, 0. Likewise you can form a global stiffness matrix. 1000 is common, so we can write here 1000. So in this way we form a global stiffness matrix by size 3 by 3. Next, formation of displacement vector or displacement matrix. So a displacement matrix size depend upon number of degree of freedom of node, or we can simply say number of nodes. So number of nodes 1, 2, 3. So displacement size 3 by 1. Okay. Then after applying boundary condition, we know that node 1 is fixed, so there is a no displacement, so x1 equal to 0. Similarly, we form a load vector or load formation of load matrix. So same, number of node is equal to size of load vector. So 3 by 1 is the size of load vector, 3 by 1. Node 1 having 0 load, node 2 0 load, node 3 having compressive 1000 Newton. Next step, then collection, or we can say solve the matrix equation by clubbing all matrices. That is, we follow governing equation. F is equal to Kx, F load vector, K global stiffness matrix, X displacement matrix. So we put all values. Then by elimination approach or penalty approach, we can solve this matrix and find out respective value of x1, x2, x3. So we generally follow elimination approach. So what is elimination approach? If you know the value of displacement and load, that is 0. If position 1 or node 1 having 0 displacement and 0 load, then we eliminate respective row and column. Suppose we consider here node 1 or displacement 1 0 and load also 0. So we eliminate first column and first row from global stiffness matrix. So we have only remaining these 2 by 2 matrix, and we can generate simultaneous equation with x2 and x3 unknown. So we can calculate, or we just simplify the given matrix and convert it into simultaneous equation to form unknown. Okay, there is no restriction to which method you can apply. So you can apply elimination approach also, and you can apply penalty approach also, but generally most of people use elimination approach. Then if you know the displacement, so we can calculate respective strain in element and stresses. So simply strain, change in length upon original length. We know the x2, that is displacement in node 2 and 1 upon 50, displacement node 3 and node 2, difference between node 2 and node 2, that is nothing but our displacement for element 2 and original length of element 2, and we will get strain 1, and strain 2 means strain in element 1 and strain in element 2. Then if you want to calculate stresses in element 1 and element 2, just simply multiply Young's modulus of elasticity, respective Young's modulus of elasticity into strain. So we will get stresses in element 1 and element 2. This is basic and simple problem. To clarify other important terminology used in 1D element. In 1D element, we considered bar, then truss, then beam, and bar with heat transfer problem. So in heat transfer problem, we consider temperature as a load, and temperature variation is considered in displacement. Next, that is type of elements. So the type of element used in finite element analysis depend on the type of problem to be solved. The problem may be structural, thermal, fluid, and electromagnetics. Selecting suitable element for particular problem play an important role in finite element analysis. So the element can be different type of, that depend upon the crystallization process. So in general, the different type of element such as 1D, 2D and 3D, or maybe some type axial, symmetric or rotating element. So we'll discuss only 1D, 2D and 3D. So basic type in 1D means having one dimensional. We consider spring, truss, beam, pipe. One element having two nodes. Then consider shell type or triangular elements having three elements and three nodes. Then this is category of linear first order element. If nodes are increases, then second type, that is quadratic second order element in 1D, triangular element with 6 node, 3 element 6 node. Second type, that is 2D elements. So quadratic element with 4 element and 4 node, first order. In second order, only nodes are increases, so 4 element and 8 nodes. Similarly, third, that is cubical or hexahedral elements, first order having 6 elements, sorry, that is 4 plus 4, 8, 12 element and 6 node, 8 node, here having 20 nodes. So in this way we can categorize different type of element used in FEA. If you particularly talk about 1D element, so first order element having one element and two node. Second order node are increases. If there are three nodes, that is second order. Then 4 nodes, that is third order. In this way we can increase number of order. If nodes are increases, element order also increases. So number of order is equal to number of order plus 1, means available nodes present in element. Then some property of stiffness matrix, that is property of global stiffness matrix, such as first, the dimension of global stiffness matrix is n by n. We already discussed, if you have 3 nodes, so our global stiffness matrix also, size of global stiffness matrix also 3 by 3. It is symmetric matrix. Symmetric matrix means upper and lower triangle should be same, means above diagonal elements and below diagonal elements are same. It is a singular matrix and hence transpose of global stiffness matrix does not exist, means value of is this global stiffness matrix equal to 1, that is nothing but singular matrix. Global stiffness matrix is sum of any row or column is equal to 0. You can check 84 minus 84 equal to 0. In first row, summation is equal to 0. Row 84 minus 84 equal to 0. Means if you sum of all elements in row, or you can sum of all element in column, the value should be 0. If it is a positive definite, all diagonal elements are non-zero and positive. Similarly, its band matrix, that is all element outside the band are 0. We can clear this point in further slide. So what is band? So if you consider diagonal, there is a non-zero values in matrix, so that is nothing but band. So next, that is method of storage of global stiffness matrix in computer, means how computer store the given elements. This is the first form, that is full form. So in full form, suppose global stiffness matrix size is equal to 5 by 5, then the required size or required memory for computer is equal to 25, because n into n, that is 5 into 5, means 25 cells are required to store the value or answer. In second type, if computer use or apply upper triangular form only, then we can check same problem, same solution, required only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 and 15. Means it reduced from 25 to 15, means we can save 10 cells in upper triangular form. Formula n by in bracket n plus 1 divided by 2. This is generalized formula, so we can calculate. Then banded form, in just upper triangle convert into vertical matrix. Here we only consider non-rubrical values. So this is diagonal 1 and this is upper part of diagonal 2. So just convert into vertical matrix and count this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. In first case we require 25, in second case we required 15, in third case we required 10. So generalized formula n into nbw, means n means degree of freedom, that is number of, we can consider node, nbw that is degree of band width. Last form, that is skyline form. Skyline form is similar as banded form, but in skyline we neglect this 0 value of every column from upper side. So we can consider vertical k11, k12, 22, then this 0 neglect 23, 33, k14. Then next this 0 we can't neglect because it present after non-zero value, so we can't neglect this. Then similarly, then 3, 4, k44, after that this is 0, this is 0, we neglect this, consider k4, 5, 5, 5, neglect. So in this way we consider only non-zero value from band. So if you calculate or count the cells 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. But if you apply full size, so we required 8 by 8 means 64. That 64 converted into how much, I actually forget. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. Only 19 cells. Means 60. If you can use full form, so 64 cells required. And if you apply skyline form, so only 19 required. Cells are required to store your answer in computer memory. So the skyline form method required least computer memory while running time. Means among all four form, the skyline is a best method to store your answer in computer. So in this way we have learned in this session, we discuss one solved numerical 1D element bar, then we see different type of elements, then property of global stiffness matrix, and method of storage of global stiffness matrix in computer memory. So hope this one like you, and thank you.